right center. That ball is gone into Monument Park.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the 40th episode of the Monument Bark podcast. Where did all the time go? I don't know. We started the Bark in April of 2021, and here we are in April of 2023, 40 episodes later. Luke, it might be 2 years in, but these New York Yankees are not looking too hot. Talk to me.
Yeah, 25 games in, 14-11. I've been saying it to you and everybody else. I wasn't really going into the season expecting or honestly looking for the start we had last year because we won the April World Series, we won the May World Series, and then kind of fell apart from there. So I'm a lot more concerned on going into the August, September, fully healthy, and then going into the playoffs. There are things that are very concerning, but I still think there's a lot of baseball left to be played, which there is. And I think we have a lot of time to fix a lot of the issues that we've seen. And we're also we've started in years past so much worse than this. 14-11 is a fine record. It's just the way it's looked has been the problem. But I'm still calm. I think there's time to fix mostly everything we've seen that's been wrong.
14-11 is not the worst start we've ever seen by any means, but very rarely do you see a team win 14 straight games at home like the Tampa Bay Rays did.
That's the problem.
They're 20-5. We're 6 games back of first place. The Rays have been unbelievable. And, going into the season, I may have said it on the last episode, I didn't expect this. I didn't, because it's got to get to the point where they don't have a superstar player. So they don't have the superstar player. They've got Wander Franco, but okay, he wasn't great last year. They don't have a guy that's year in, year out, just kicking what and taking names. It's not what they have, and it's not what they've really ever had. So to see them go 20-5 at the beginning of the season is annoying because, they played the school of the blind 20 times. And it's all right, fine. We've got a lot to talk about. We haven't had an episode since the night before opening day. Our apologies. Many more episodes are coming as Luke and I get back to home base in May, pretty soon here, and episodes are going to be rolling out, as much as we can. The summer is when there's so much baseball to talk about, and that's when we have the most fun doing it. So, as Luke alluded to, we've had worse starts. There are guys that have been out and that got hurt in this short span, namely Stanton and Loaizaga. Rodon and Bader are still out. Those were 2 names that we knew were out at the beginning of the season. Now with Stanton, the New York Yankees, when Judge doesn't hit, the New York Yankees don't hit. Now, when Stanton's there, it's a different story because Judge and Stanton are 2 different players that can carry an offense, in my eyes. When Stanton's gone and Judge can't carry the offense, for some reason, nobody else hits. So
Yeah, it's when you look at it, we have our 21-year-old shortstop transitioning to a leadoff role. We're missing Stanton. Glaber is Glaber. There are a lot of things where at full strength, these issues wouldn't be as large as they are. And it's also, I feel like the Yankees in the last 2 seasons have come in comfortable without a complete roster, knowing it's not completed. I don't fully understand it, but it seems pretty clear. They didn't think Oswaldo Cabrera was going to come in and hit 300.
right.
He wasn't the answer to the problem.
Right.
So I think like they didn't expect this to be like the complete team. So it's
Right.
hard to get like this upset when they like don't hit sometimes because a lot of it is stuff we already knew. But so, I mean, there are days where we don't have a shot.
None. And it's like they look like they didn't even show up to play. And, last year's team, we came into the season, we didn't really have a complete team either. So what did we do? We relied on the trade deadline. We traded for a center fielder that we wouldn't see till late September. We traded for a starting pitcher who everyone was talking about how he could be a 2. Turns out he was already injured and he's not pitching for most of the season, and he was horrible when he pitched. We traded for a reliever with a lot of years of control, and he got Tommy John surgery. In the trade with the starting pitcher, we got another relief pitcher who, can't seem to stay healthy this season, or hasn't stayed healthy or hasn't even pitched this season. We traded for an outfielder that we wanted to re-sign, and he got hurt and missed the entire postseason. Yet we get to the offseason and we don't even address the completing the team aspect. Are we going to go into the trade deadline and have to make this a complete team again? Are we just going to rely on these guys to come to the Bronx and not only perform, but also stay healthy? Because it's getting pretty infuriating year in and year out coming in with a team that's not all there. And when is it going to come? Like, we've got the prospects, and Luke and I adore some of these young guys that can come up and really contribute down the line. But we are so far from that. Like, the team is not complete. And then when you get injured, it's even less complete, obviously. And then when you don't have guys that can step in and do their and play next man up, it's why the 2019 Yankees were so good, because that wasn't a complete team and they had a lot of injuries. But guess what? The guys stepped in and did their job, and they played well, and they won games, and they were like the best team in baseball for most of the season. This year, the guys that are stepping in aren't really producing. We haven't obviously had an episode, and I'll bring his name up right now because I've been just dancing around people's names. You all know who those people are that have just gotten hurt. Franchy Cordero stepped in, bursted onto the scene. Crazy, hitting a home run every other day and, hitting 300. He's gotten a hit in 3 weeks. Okay. Like, there's no consistency. And I'm not asking for Franchy Cordero to be that good. It's just they don't have any depth. None. Like, they don't. It's really annoying. And then, Rodon, comes to the season injured. We're not going to see him till mid-June. Like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. We got 3 rookies playing right now, and Willie Calhoun, you suck. Franchy Cordero, you suck. And then it's like Peraza and Volpe are finding their feet. So, this team should have like 9 wins just based off how the roster is right now. But I've been kind of looking at it from the other perspective, like you alluded to, the 2019 team. I look back to 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, this whole era. This is the most talented team we have had when healthy. So when you it is, like if you look at it,
you think it's better than 2018?
Yeah. I mean, we had who was our second best player?
I mean, we had Judge, we had Stanton, we had Voigt break on, we had Andujar, Torres, Gary was pretty.
When you look at it, it's like,
no, it's close, but yeah,
I'd much rather. Miguel Andujar and Luke Voigt are like the third and fourth name, and it's like, yeah, they were good that season, but you need to establish professional hitters to go into the playoffs, and I think healthy we have more of those than we've had. And once Volpe finds his feet, it's going to feel a lot better. Same with Peraza. Obviously I'm less in on Peraza than I am Volpe. But when you take a step back, we have a team to build around, and it's April, and we don't need it fixed tomorrow. We just need it fixed kind of along the way. I do agree with you though. Like going into the season and not re-signing Benintendi and just not getting another outfielder it's a complete joke. Because now like I said, we have 3 rookies playing and 2 people that stink. And it's like, and then one of them's like, then you have catcher, then you have Glaber, who's also very inconsistent. So it's like I just named 7 positions that are completely unreliable from a hitting perspective. So it's no wonder we're not hitting. But I still think we can fix it.
So Stanton's out a month and a half. Okay.
We'll see him the 4th of July. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, all right, like a month and a half turns into what? Harrison Bader in Scranton right now. If he's going to come up and hit his 240, 250, that's better than what we've got right now. Maybe he can come up and bring a spark because, pardon me, that's what he did in the playoffs. Turns out I probably should have gotten a Gatorade instead of a Pepsi. Jonathan Loizaga, who knows? Elbow inflammation, that's not good.
Haven't heard a thing.
Yeah, that's probably the worst thing that we could have seen that isn't just an immediate injury. So we've got guys coming back. It's just a matter, like the Carlos Rodon thing is just ridiculous. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's annoying. It's pretty annoying.
Like now it's a back injury. It's almost like he just came up with something else and just is missing a whole lot more time.
At least it's not the arm. Like whatever.
At least it's not the arm, but it's head, shoulders, knees, and toes. And it's always that with Rodon. He's always hurt. That's the one thing that's just been holding his whole career back is injury after injury after injury. And what happens on the Yankees? He gets to the Yankees injury after injury. So we'll see you in June, hopefully on my birthday.
Hopefully, yeah. I'm
Clark
glad
Schmidt,
he's not playing hurt though. Right now, before we move on to Clark Schmidt, I'm glad Rodon's not. Like that's the thing about.
Luke, he's got 2 injuries. Like he's got, like he wouldn't even be able to play. Like he
sounds like he could play if he had to. That's what I mean. That's what he said when he got hurt.
But that was before the back injury.
Well, that doesn't really mean anything. Like I'm glad he's not doing the Severino throwing on a torn UCL. I'm glad he's not. Like we don't need to play. Like we don't need Stanton running out there on a quarter of a hamstring. We don't need.
Oh no, I know.
Running out there with a bad back. Like it's okay that they're being thorough with it. They're not pushing it to something worse. Because at the end of the day, if these people are healthy in August and we're rolling, we're not gonna remember this conversation. Oh, it's just it's a long, grueling season. It's a tough sport.
Clark Schmidt stinks. He just isn't. He isn't it. And it's not that he isn't ready for the big leagues. That's not what it is. He's just a failed starter. And we're seeing it right before our eyes. So Clark Schmidt, welcome to the bullpen. You're Michael King. Michael King did the same thing that you did. Okay. When Michael King was rolling well, he would end up giving up a home run. You're the same pitcher. And we saw Clark in the bullpen last year. Yeah, he gave up the playoff, walk-off, whatever. Clark Schmidt was good out of the bullpen last year. He was really good out of the bullpen last year, and I think that's where he can succeed in the future. It's just he can't be running out there every 5 days. And speaking of running out there every 5 days, Johnny Brito, horrible. Like, yeah, I didn't expect a whole lot. Like, how could you? But, dude, no more.
He's miserable.
No more.
Like Clark Schmidt at least has stuff. When we sit down to watch a Johnny Brito start, it gets to 2 strikes, and I'm like, the batter's gonna have to swing and miss at a fastball, or he's just not There's no put away.
Also,
He's a miserable watch.
like he goes out there and like puts out like 2 2/3 in his last start. You know what that does to the bullpen? Like it completely kills the bullpen. You honestly have to intentionally lose the game. Just like when he went out there against the Twins, gave up 23 runs in the first inning. Like we honestly needed him to just give up so many runs because it got to the point where it's like we can't even try to win this game anymore because we're so behind. So we have to just use whatever relievers. It's
No, I mean he just foul ball, base hit, double. It makes me not want to turn on the game sometimes. I'm gonna look up real quick JP Sears game logs just to see if he's doing any better. Because that's a guy that I wish we had right now. Yeah, I mean,
I'm sorry,
six innings, 4 runs, 6 innings, 2 runs, 5 innings, 3 runs, 4 2/3, 3 runs. Like, I wish we had JP Sears.
And like,
I would take that
I'm sorry. There's a guy in St. Louis who's pitching pretty well too. Jordan Montgomery is a guy that I kind of wish the Yankees had right now. 3.81 ERA, probably got touched up in his last start or 2 starts ago. Give up.
Doesn't matter. It's the fact is we're throwing Johnny Brito every
and have no one else. No one else. Where's Davy Garcia when you need him? Like
they're putting him in the bullpen.
Okay, he's already in the bullpen. I knew that. Where is anyone else? Anybody else?
To defend, if there's any defense, they thought 3 of the 5 starters they thought we had, we just don't have. So like, I understand it's unfortunate, but I mean, it's a brutal watch to watch him pitch.
Brutal watch.
We did need Bader though.
Yeah, fine.
It's better than
I don't know.
No, at least
if we never got Bader, if we never got Bader, we would have Benintendi.
I don't know that that's true.
I don't know, man. It's less about Harrison Bader and more about Jordan Montgomery. Another thing, going back to Clarke Schmidt, Michael King, when Clarke Schmidt goes his, measly 3 innings, and Michael King's just coming in for 2, I know Aaron Boone loves to go to his most valuable, toughest righty to face the toughest righties in lineups. And he did this in this Minnesota game that I was at, where he brought Clay Holmes in the 8th inning instead of Michael King, who had, had rest for 2 days. He brings in Clay Holmes in the 8th inning, and he can't even throw a strike. Michael King is our best reliever against right-handed hitters. So when you're using him in the 4th and 5th innings to just segue the game for the Yankees to get them to the 6th, 7th, and 8th, 9th inning, you can't do that. And I know there's
Clarke
injuries.
Schmidt's supposed to be.
That's what Clarke Schmidt's supposed to be. Exactly. That's what he should be. So you can't waste Michael King for 2 innings when you need him in high leverage moments in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. The closer role, Clay Holmes has been horrible. Okay? He's been horrible. And it's not like we're in a bunch of save situations. And that's not even it. He probably doesn't even have 2 saves, 3 saves. The Yankees.
He had 1 because it was a complete heart attack against Cleveland, if you remember that. He walked the ballpark.
Yes. There needs to be a closer by committee with Loaizaga out. It needs to be King sometimes. It can't be King in the 4th and 5th inning. It can be Marinaccio. Even I don't even like that. But King that early on can't do it. Can't freaking do it. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't.
I know he's been a little bad, but
Michael King, I feel like is still kind of getting his kind of rhythm back after the weird injury last year.
Yep.
Loaizaga out. He's our best reliever. Loaizaga our best reliever, and he's out. Clay Holmes, hit or miss. You don't really. And then Wandy. I mean, Wandy's a horse, but he can't pitch innings 1 through 9. Like, there are going to be times like the other day where Wandy just gives up a home run. And it's like, we can't rely on him. We can't rely on any one of these guys. They all have to step up and they all have to have equal time, but they all have to be in high leverage. And that's why Michael King pitching in the 5th inning just can't be.
No, can't be. Can't be. Like, when you have a thin bullpen, which we do right now, you have to piece it together. And that's not piecing your best high leverage reliever at the beginning of the puzzle. Like, no, don't do that. Please, no more. I know that they probably don't have a minor leaguer that's just going to step in and pitch better than they probably have guys that can pitch better than Johnny Brito, but they should be trying them all out. Like, I'm not asking them to call up their top prospects, which they have none of because they traded them all. But I'm asking for Ryan Weber, like something different. I know Ryan Weber stinks, and I know he throws junk, but why not? He's in AAA. The Yankees clearly like him because they brought him back for another year in the minors. He's willing to be in Scranton. Why not? Okay? I just don't like when they keep running out the same guys who can't do the job over and over when they've got other guys who have a chance at being a little bit better. Why not even try it? It's not like Ryan Weber.
We need,
something else. But
we didn't even include Severino in the injured.
No, we
I knew
didn't.
there was someone
because
we need one of these guys back. We need one of them back now. And it's not Montas, obviously.
Well, Donaldson's almost back.
No, one of the pitchers. One of the pitchers. Like, we can't live like this forever.
Yeah,
we have 2.5 pitchers. Domingo Germán's getting murdered by Jose Miranda today.
And Joey Gallo.
It's like, that's our 3.
The fact that they let Joey Gallo hit 2 home runs off them this series, you can't let that happen. No. You pitch around him. You do everything in your power to not let him hit a home run. Just throw curveball after curveball after curveball. No, don't do that. You can't let that happen. You can't let him feel that way. You can't let him trot the bases. I don't care what the score was. You can't let him do that to you. I'm sorry. No more.
I thought it was funny. I really did.
I'm sure you did. Garrett Cole,
so good,
is unbelievable. And I'm so happy that he's unbelievable because if he wasn't, he's the reason we don't have 9 wins. 100%. Without Garrett Cole, or if Garrett Cole comes out flat this year, we're talking about how we're one of the worst teams in baseball. Offensively, we are. But thanks to Garrett Cole on the mound.
Can we not talk about the one pitching award? That's the CY award.
Because once we start
doing that,
bring it up every year.
That's why we're not going to do it.
I'm afraid you brought it up.
That I didn't say anything.
It's fair. He's just going in.
He's been so good,
doing his job and walking out. And not,
I think this is a conversation we had in one of our off-season podcasts, but he's such an in his own head player that this pitch clock is just, he doesn't think. Just get the sign, throw the ball. Get the sign, throw the ball. He doesn't have time to think. It's forcing him not to think. And it's been great.
No other way to put it.
He's just been fantastic. And he just looks so much better out there. Yeah. Doing the whole thing in the dugout, like being a goof, he's still eating the bananas. Like, he's just being funny. This is what we need. He's a weird guy. But if he's only weird off the mound, I don't care. When he's on the mound, I just need you to see the sign, throw the ball, get the out. And that's what he's been doing.
Did you see when he gave up like a warning track ball in his complete game? And like whoever caught it in right field, and he like started like dying laughing, like because he thought it was out.
Yeah.
Like he's like cracking a smile on the mound. Like when have we seen Garrett Cole crack a smile on the mound? Like it's
He's just enjoying it.
he's just exactly, and he's settled in, and I'm thankful for that because, well, I mean, Nestor's been fine. Like, all right.
He was tough last time, but other than that, he's been pretty good.
I mean,
They left him in way too long.
yeah, they
He
yeah.
battled. He
Also, the
battled.
Twins, if you remember this last year, when a team who's got a lot of right-handed hitters, which the Twins ran out there, when they see him twice in a week and a half, twice in 2 weeks, he's going to get hit. Remember this last year? Nestor faced the White Sox the second time and kind of just got smoked. Like,
Yeah, it's baseball.
it's baseball.
I wish this schedule is so good for the game, but it is so complicated. Like if there was a way they could avoid that, it would be great. But there's no way because now all the teams are like all playing each other.
Yeah.
It's very complicated.
Yep, it is.
But yeah, no, I mean he didn't have a shot. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Anthony Volpe has been, we talked about in the last episode. I said that, if he got off to a slow start, I'm not going to be up in arms about it. Like you're playing shortstop for the New York Yankees. You're 21 years old, turning 22 tomorrow, which is April 28th. So happy early birthday to Anthony, but has got off to a slow start, but he showed things that where you can tell that, he's kind of just breaking through. Not defensively. Well, defensively, he's made some really nice plays, but Anthony's botched a whole bunch of balls at shortstop. One, you could argue, cost them a game and also cost Clark Schmidt a nice outing. Although they were all on runs, he gave up a home run, which was the most. Back to Clark Schmidt real quick. The Vlad home run that Clark Schmidt gave up was maybe the most obvious thing that was ever going to happen. It felt like I was watching a highlight of like a home run that was going to happen on TV later. I knew it was going to happen. I felt it. And then he gave up another home run. And then it's like, well, if Anthony Volpe made the play, we're not in this position. Now, the defense is the defense. The defense is tough. Playing shortstop's not easy. But he's made some great plays. He's made some, outs above average plays.
He has a nice arm.
He's got a good
arm.
He's
got a nice arm.
He knows how to, come in on the ball, botch the ball today, but slow rollers, he's got it. The swing is interesting because I think he's got to, every hitter has an approach. Well, maybe not Gleyber Torres, but every hitter has, some sort of plan. I hope good hitters have a plan. I'll say that. They go up there with, here's who's on base. Here's where I got to, hit the ball. They go in there with an idea. And it's kind of looked like Anthony goes in with the same idea every single time. He's got a big swing for a guy who's not really that big. And that's tough because he's been seeing a lot of fastballs just right there. And he's swinging over him because he's a little high. Sometimes they're just right, down Broadway. And he's whiffing because he's late. I think he's swinging a little too hard, but I think that's what you can expect from a rookie. I think when he starts to go in there with a little more of an approach and know how to shorten his swing up a little bit, he's going to be money. Because even if he goes in with this similar mindset every at bat, which it isn't probably what he does, I can't imagine. But say he shortens up his swing a little bit, he gets to those inside fastballs that guys have just been blowing him by, like he gets his foot down a little bit earlier. He's not going to be chasing the ball in the dirt. It's just going to come. And like the last, 10, 12 games, he's been hitting the what out of the ball. He's got like 3 or 4 multi-hit games in the last 10, and he just looks more and more comfortable every single day. The defense is going to come around. The speed is fantastic. He gets on base, and I think what's cool about him is he's getting on base. He's worked with this pitch clock for a couple of years now because they've been using it in minor league baseball. Volpe knows how to manipulate the pitch clock. He's on first base dancing around. He knows when to go. Like these major leaguers, these fast base stealers, like, yeah, they've been stealing more bases and it's awesome. But he's been working with this pitch clock. He knows how to work it. He knows when to take his really aggressive secondary lead and just go, because it just he hasn't gotten outsmarted yet. Knock on wood. I just think all around, like he's got the tools to be that guy on the Yankees, and I it's just hit him lead off every day, play him at shortstop every day, give him a day off here and there, just throw him in the fire and let him get his feet wet, because that's all we can do.
Yeah, I mean, heading back to the swing a little bit, it's like he had a base hit to right field today, and his swing didn't even look that big. It's just when he's doing the whole, he gets
launch.
That's his problem. Yeah, he goes for the uppercut, the big home run swing, which, like you said, any 21-year-old hotshot would come in swinging like that. That's just human nature. It's part of it. I was never going to be worried. You can't be worried about a 21-year-old rookie until at least June. Like, give the kid a second to find his feet. He's shown flashes. He's shown more than flashes. He's completely fine. There are obviously a couple of errors, but Jeter made an error like every play his first year. You know what I mean? Like, not always, not always comparing him to Jeter, but it's just like playing shortstop, especially for the Yankees. There's gonna come the transition, and I think he's handled it flying colors. I don't have a single complaint about him, other than, I don't know, he kicks the ball around once in a while and then has to fix that approach, which I think both just comes with gaining more experience in Major League Baseball. No, I've been pleased. I'm glad he's hitting leadoff already. That's one thing I didn't know when they were gonna do.
Just do it.
You just gotta do it. It's April.
Yeah. The one game that I'm really upset I wasn't able to watch was that Glaber walk-off sac fly against Anaheim.
The Angels. Oh, I watched the last inning. Yeah.
That game featured so much with him. Like, he got a base hit. He popped up a bunt. But,
oh my God, it was terrible.
But they picked him up and they walked it off.
No, it's fine. Yeah.
He pops up the bunt and then we hit into a double play or don't even score the run in extra innings. Yeah. Then it's like you're looking at the guy and it's like, oh well, it's kind of on you. But then Glaber hitting the walk off, it's all good. You move on. But in that game, he made 2 fantastic plays in the field. It was really unbelievable. I think he's really solidified himself even with the struggles.
Yeah.
And he's just got to keep going.
Something I alluded to before the season started, one thing I was looking for is how Judge was with him as a captain. I always kind of was like iffy about the whole captain thing. Mm-hmm. He never felt like the veteran guy on the team. It was always Cole. And we haven't won. So I was always a little, but I wanted him with Volpe coming up to kind of take him under his wing. He's doing the whole thing. He's taking him to Ranger games, doing the cheers on the Jumbotron, stuff like that. Like, you could tell Judge is taking a major leadership role in Volpe's development, which is huge, because having, like, Judge was a first round pick, big prospect, not as big as Volpe. But having a guy who succeeded and exceeded expectations as a prospect is huge for an upcoming prospect, because so many of them fall short, don't pan at all, aren't as good as they should have been. And it's It's good to see. It doesn't feel like he's out there alone. The team's rallying behind him. The dugout exploded when he hit that big home run against Toronto. A huge home run, like huge. It was. There's been so much more good than people
Yeah.
realize, especially how
No,
young he is.
100%, 100%. And you talk about like these big prospects that don't live up. You know, it's got to make him like it. You got to like how he's looking at Gleyber Torres, and it's like, hey, like, you were in my shoes, like, you're able to hit like you're the best in baseball, and then look like a freaking idiot the next 3 weeks. Like, how about I don't be him? Okay. How about I just be myself? Because I talked about it in the last episode. Like, Gleyber got to the Yankees and hit 26 home runs in his rookie season. He didn't even play the whole year. Like, I was saying, like, I hope Volpe settles in like Gleyber. I still stand by that. I hope he settles in. But excuse me, I can't have him be Gleyber. No player should be like Gleyber Torres. It's the most agitating thing in on the Yankees because he's just like, where does it go? Like, is there no like hot hitting for him? Like,
Judge is definitely pointing at Gleyber and being like, "Yeah, you see that guy?
yeah,
Like, do you have a good season or two? Like, lay off the bottle service, stop with the tattoos, maybe have a night in once in a while, go see a movie.
Stop playing Call of Duty. Like,
don't do what that guy did because he blew it. He's the worst four hitter in baseball. That's the thing. I can't take a team seriously that has Gleyber Torres hitting fourth every day. Like, that's nuts.
Who hit fourth today?
I don't even know if I want to know.
Luis Arias. Because why not?
Oh, I mean, he could hit 1 through 5 or 1 through 9, and it would be like
Gleyber Torres. There's no hitting 250 for Gleyber Torres. There's no like, I'm going to go 1 for 4 today. It's either I'm going 2 for 4 or I'm going 0 for 5.
Yeah.
Like,
that's, oh God, that's why stats bother me because there's these players where it's like he hits 250, but he doesn't. Yep. And he is the perfect example of someone who just doesn't.
No, it's awful. Awful.
We have if he's not hitting 7th at least on our team, I mean, we don't have a chance. Anywhere up, like, oh God, I don't know what to say anymore.
The more and more I see people on Twitter talking about how they want to re-sign this guy. I mean, we have got an extra year of this guy. We can't even get away from this guy yet. Like, this is bad because I would love to get to the deadline like we were last year and just say, see you later. Bye. He didn't hit well in last postseason. If Gleyber went into last postseason and hit well, I would be like, all right, we just got to keep him because he's going to hit in the playoffs. He didn't hit last play. Gone. See you later. I have no strings attached. None.
I just want him to be our 7th hitter. I want to build a good enough team where it's like you put him 7th.
That's not going to change this. That's not going to change this.
It doesn't matter, but you can have a 7 hitter who's like having a 7 hitter who can do what Gleyber Torres does, even if they don't do it all the time, that's good enough. You cannot have him hitting 5th because you get through the first 4-year lineup, and then you have a guy who on half the days might as well swing lefty.
What's annoying is it's not like, all right, I'm good this game, I'm bad next game. I'm good the next game. It's just like 5 good, 10 bad. Why? Like, why is that a thing? I've never seen a streakier player in my life. And it's like, I started picking up on this like last year. Like, he started this thing last year and he's doing it all over again. Like, if he just was just bad, like bad all the time, I could write him off a whole lot easier. Like, I don't want him to be bad. Like, fine. But I told my father before the season started is if this guy could just go 1 for 4 every single day, just get 1 hit every day, go 1 for 4, hit your 250, hit your home runs. Please don't be the best player in April and then the worst in May and then the best in June, and then the worst in July and August. Because I can't take it anymore. Like I can't.
Oh
I
yeah.
can't. There's no like consistency. Like I can't sit down and watch the game and be like, oh, there's Glaber. Like he's gonna like get a hit. Like I know what he's gonna do.
Or
Like,
work a walk. Or work a walk. It's been since 2020. It really has. Everyone went home for COVID. He came back. We blamed the slow start on that because he hit like a home run or whatever in the playoffs. But it's been 2 years now where like you're just not the guy. You're not a presence. You don't work an at bat. You're
he
inconsistent.
does have more walks than strikeouts this year, which is like different. But like those walks came,
Yeah, I mean, let's see if that sticks.
and like that's why like as we get more consistent with these episodes, we're gonna be able to just like do a weekly Glaber update on
Yeah, just
like
track it. Yeah,
it's
exactly.
just like because like we've seen two sides of it, and then like all of a sudden after not getting a hit for 2 weeks, he comes in today and hits a drills a home run. It's like, all right, fine, I guess. Like now he's gonna start playing well. Someone who isn't playing well, and it's just like, all right, he's young, but like really, how young is he? Uh, he's playing every day. He's got a smile on his face. He wears, funky jewelry, and he's a goofy guy. And it's just Oswaldo Cabrera. And like, I was so high on Oswaldo coming in. I don't know why. Just had a good feeling about Oswaldo because
He got
as one
moxie
does, he's got
in the
moxie.
box. He does.
He
He
gets
just
in
doesn't
there.
hit
He's
it.
doing the Soto shuffle, but you can't be doing the Soto shuffle when your OPS starts with a 5. Please don't do that because, well, you can do that, but
I mean,
who can
he's
I?
definitely a name I brought up during the whole tryout year bit, but I mean, he's failing miserably. I I don't know if they thought he was going to be good, and that's why they didn't get an outfielder. But
Clint Frazier.
I mean, good lord, hit a ball. I mean, we have like a third of our lineup has been rookies since Donaldson went. You can't win, and he stinks. Like you
He
can't
stinks.
win games.
Like
Like you
he's
can't
had
win
some
games
he's
like
had some big hits. He got a big hit in Cleveland off Class A. Like okay,
he's supposed to be a bench player.
or he's a guy that maybe not a bench player, but he plays 4 times a week.
Or a util, I mean, not like a
Yeah,
bench. He has a role. He's when we're at our best, he's gonna still have a role. It's just not this,
yeah. I
which
just
is
can't be every day.
I don't
I
know.
know.
I
I
can't
know.
blame a guy for being forced to play more than what he's capable.
I think it's my fault because I was calling him every day as Waldo.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
you did do that.
my dad and I played fantasy baseball against each other years ago, and there was a guy by the name of Jahani Peralta who was just on steroids at this season that what I'm talking about, and he was just 2 hits every day. And my dad called him everyday Jahani. So I was like, you know what? It's everyday Oswaldo because I want this
It
guy
had
to be
such a
out
good
there
ring too.
playing there. Yes, exactly. I want him to be out there every single day. And now I can't say I do. I can't say I do. He's got to, I don't know. There's no
Got to be the
sentiment.
10th man. We got to get enough.
Can they just like send him to like the Bahamas for a week and just like say, all right, you can come back now? Like do
Well,
something because like
then
he
we got
just
to
can't.
bring up the other Calhoun.
Oh
Like
my
who's
God.
gonna
We have 2 Calhouns. Jesus.
who's gonna play? Like we don't have the.
We have 2 Calhouns. I didn't even put that together, and they're both on the Rangers. What are we doing?
Well, we don't
Oh,
have a. We're,
we have
we're
2
missing.
Calhouns.
We're missing people, and some people are bad, and we got to fix it. The the Heat just eliminated the Bucks. By the way,
Wow.
Jimmy Butler had 42.
MVP. Yeah. I'm I'm just getting a
No,
little.
I mean,
I'm antsy because I can't. All right, Willie Calhoun's got back-to-back 2-hit games because Willie can bang, as Aaron Boone said. So like, just keep rolling him out there. Like if we got a Franchi Cordero stint from like a bunch of different players, like every other week, like all right, fine. Like Willie Calhoun, Cole Calhoun, Franchi, you can all have a good week, just until everyone gets back. Now, there was a big trade target that Luke and I talked about millions of times. Luke's feelings about this player kind of went up and down, up and down. We kind of found out that it's not just Jason Dominguez, it's also Spencer Jones. So Jason Dominguez feels expendable.
Changes a lot.
So we're thinking, all right, like we're going to get to the trade deadline like last year, and it's going to be a little more reasonable to go trade for this guy. And the guy I'm talking about is Bryan Reynolds, who signed a deal with the Pittsburgh Pirates. 8 years, $100 million. Why? Like, I get it. You want to be a Pirate for life.
No, I don't get it. I don't get it.
No, just let me speak for a second. You want to be in Pittsburgh for the rest of your career, fine. But don't go and take $13.5 million a year. Like, I get wanting to be with the same organization your entire career. That's what I was saying. But I don't get taking a contract when Brandon Nimmo's out there making $20 million and you're going to be making 12.5. No.
By the time I can't even, we can't even give him the loyalty thing because he's been on the team for like 4 years.
No, I understand.
Like, it's not like he's a veteran
he's
taking
already
a hometown thing.
He's already
He's
old.
not like old. He was going to hit free agency at like 30, 31, and you're going to get a good contract. This is like in the NBA, that 1 year where it's like that guy Timothy Mozgov got like $80 million and everyone's like, what? It's like that, but backwards. This is the most mind-blowing deal.
Chandler Parsons got a lot of money, as I remember.
This is the most mind-blowing deal I've seen in like a long time.
Yeah.
Not even like it panned, it didn't pan. Just like when signed, I looked at it and I was like, that's what he did?
Yeah, and it's like, we look at it, like, obviously we wanted him. So obviously we're going to just be outraged or enraged by the fact that he took that to stay with the team for that long. Like
the worst organization in baseball.
Even when Byron Buxton, who gets hurt every single game, took that deal to stay with the Twins for that long, I was a little bit annoyed because it's like, all right, well, yeah, I know he gets hurt, but like I would kind of like him on the Yankees. I kind of changed.
He couldn't ever get more than that. He's played
Bryan
100
Reynolds.
games.
Bryan Reynolds is a switch hitting, contact guy that can hit you 285, who could pop 25 home runs and play solid defense. Now, I read that the Pirates are just going to play Bryan Reynolds in left field. So if you want to look and say, hey, he's not playing center field for the Pirates, so to the Pirates, he's worth that. Okay. Like, he's a left fielder. Left fielders make significantly less money than center fielders. That's just the way it goes. If their plan is just never play him in center field, I don't even know who their center fielder is. It's like Ji-Hwan Bae. Are we really, like, is that serious? Because Bryan Reynolds wanted a bunch of money front-loaded in his contract and an opt-out in the middle of his contract. And then all of a sudden, it's like he caved in, didn't want to do the contract talk anymore because, I don't know, he said it was like he's never felt more distracted in his life to play baseball. And he comes out and it has the best start of anyone in baseball. And then he caves for like the most undervalued contract, in my opinion, in the game for a guy who just signed a 5+ year deal. Dude,
I don't want a guy like this on my team. You can't, you're the guy, if you're a star, you don't take this deal in mid-April. It's the least sensible thing I've ever seen. You can't. I don't want him. I don't want a guy who does that, who whines to the media and then gives up everything he asked for after publicly requesting a trade a month ago. When you were set to free agency at 30 and you were probably going to make like $200 million.
Like if this was
you're an idiot.
If this was in the offseason, there would be a little more like, all right, like he did it in the offseason. He just wanted to get it over with so he didn't have to come into the season. But to do it
Soft
in April, and I know he was on bereavement leave, so I don't want to like talk down on him because he might be going through something, and I'm not one to talk down on anyone. But dude, like you could have gotten a whole lot more money, and like I said, like you want to be in Pittsburgh, fine. Mike Trout wanted to be with the Angels and took $500 million from them.
And he played there for 10 years. It's
No,
not even
I
like a
understand that.
hometown thing. It's just
It's
like
not a
everything
hometown
about
thing.
it.
Well, is it a hometown thing? Where is he
No, I
from?
mean it's like he's been there 4 years and all of a sudden he wants to be a pirate.
If
for
he's from
life. It's
Pittsburgh,
like,
PA, I'm not okay. Let's see.
he wasn't even through arbitration. Like he's not
He's-
worried about being a pirate for
He was
life.
born in Baltimore. I mean,
Great.
go sign with the Baltimore Orioles. Like,
It's also
when
that the
Cedric-
Pirates are a bottom 5 organization in baseball, undisputed.
when Cedric Mullins gets like significantly more, and Cedric Mullins is not better than Bryan Reynolds
No, he's not.
by any means.
No, he's not.
Like, and it's annoying because like, what if Bryan Reynolds would have just came over to the Yankees in a trade and just knocked the cover off the ball and was just like that guy that they traded for, and you think back and it's like that was the guy who we traded for, and now he's our guy, and we're going to sign him to a long-term deal, and now he's ours.
Well,
Now there is this because I'm sorry. He got signed to this deal, and like there hasn't really been too much talk about like he said all along he wanted to be a Pirate for the rest of his career. He said that like in the media, although he was requesting a trade, he said that he wanted to be a Pirate. You don't even have to fact check on me because I know it because I watched the interview. He said, I want to be here for the rest of my career, but this is a business, and if I'm not going to get paid the money, then fine. Okay. He didn't get paid the money. He's on the most team-friendly contract in the game of baseball after, Ronald Acuna and Ozzie Albies, who signed them when they were rookies. Bryan Reynolds could get traded because his trade value just soared through the roof. Because when you're on that team-friendly deal, you can get traded for so much. Do you understand what it's like to have a player who's going to put up a 4.5 to 5 WAR a year on a $14 million contract playing left or center field? Like his trade value is so much higher. I don't necessarily believe that this is his career in Pittsburgh. I don't think. Like, I don't believe it because it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Now, there's no opt-out, which is just even more confusing because now he's stuck with that money. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense at all.
He clearly doesn't think
It's nonsensical.
He was gonna rake if he thought, okay, I could go somewhere big and play well, he wouldn't have signed this deal.
Well, then again, Luke, he's got to wait 3 more years until he's a free agent, or 2 more years after this one. Like, it's not like he's not a free agent. He's not a free agent in the offseason because then that's true. It's like, yeah, like, why'd you do this now?
Well, if we traded for him, he would have been on us until he was a free agent.
Well, that's kind of on the Pirates for wanting Volpe, Dominguez, and Peraza for Bryan Reynolds. That is
well,
ridiculous.
no, I mean, I would have asked for that too if I knew he was going to take the cheapest contract.
Maybe they knew all along. I don't know.
This is just like
maybe he's just going to donate 50% of his contract. Like
he's going to be living on the street if he does that. Nah, this is like
Okay, no more
this
Bryan
is some
Reynolds.
like
We've probably
this
talked
is
about
some
Bryan Reynolds longer than we've talked about any individual Yankee. So let's
he's the
talk
only
about
competent like
some other trade targets. One that is just a complete shot in the dark. Tim Anderson on the 8-17 Chicago White Sox. One more year of control. Well, it's really a team option. He's going to be making $7 million next year. If I'm the Yankees, or if I'm the White Sox, and yeah, we might not think Austin Wells is a catcher in the future, but to some teams he might. So how about this? You go Peraza, Austin Wells, and a pitching prospect, lower level pitching prospect of their choice. You know, you're getting a shortstop with a lot of years of control, obviously. He's making nothing, obviously. He's a top 60 prospect in the game. Some put him at number 35 in the game. How about Austin Wells, who's Yasmani Grandal is done. Like he's done in Chicago. Uh, you know, he's and his contract's expiring soon. So he's making a ton of money. So Austin Wells, Oswald Peraza, it might not seem like a Yankee move, but at the same time, it might make sense for the White Sox because they stink. They've tried to build this team up and it doesn't work. And Austin Wells and Oswald Peraza are two players that they don't really have in terms of how the roster is constructed. It could be an idea. It, like I said, shot in the dark, but Tim Anderson is a bad you know what. And if the Yankees had him and they added another bat, I don't know who's beating them in the American League.
he's on paper, it makes every amount of sense it can. It's one of those things that it's hard to picture just because of how much like back and forth he's had with the Yankees. He's clearly not like a fan of the Yankees. He doesn't talk about
It's
respect.
back and forth.
Like, you know what I mean?
It's back and forth with Josh Donaldson, who he's
But then
clearly
it was a
had
whole
dialogue with before. Yeah,
it
there's
was a whole thing with the fans after. Like, I understand it would just be something that you can't like I can't picture it after going to the stadium and him talking
we
to all
witnessed
the
it.
fans. Like it was a whole back and forth thing. I would love it. I think it would put us in a fantastic spot. But it's one of those things where it's just, like we'll see. I mean, it makes so much sense for the White Sox. Like it makes every amount of sense on paper. It really does. We'll see.
And it would
we
make
do need
a ton
a
of
lefty
sense.
though.
It would make
We
a
need a
ton
lefty
of sense for the
bad.
Yankees because Anderson's on a $7.5 million club option next year. That's nothing. You know who's making $7 million? You know who's making more than that? Aaron Hicks.
Not Bryan Reynolds.
Aaron Hicks is making $10 million every single year. If we got Tim Anderson making 7.5, maybe Aaron Hicks could just give him the $2.5 million. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
If Tim Anderson,
oh wait, would Volpe play short or would Tim Anderson play short?
I think Tim Anderson plays second.
Okay,
because Tim Anderson's not good at shortstop, and I think at this point in his career, he's not old by any means, but he's been playing since 2015. Like he's been around. I think guy like him, second base, maybe even third base. I don't know, but second base seems like a position Tim Anderson could transition to and maybe become a pretty solid second baseman. Now, if we were to go trade for Tim Anderson, you know who the odd man out is? Mr. Gleyber Torres.
Yeah.
See you later. They can throw Gleyber in that deal for all I care. They can throw Gleyber in that deal, give us a pitcher. I don't know, Michael Kopech, a bullpen arm, Liam Hendricks. How about Liam Hendricks?
Michael Kopech.
I just came up with a trade idea. Gleyber Torres.
Tim Anderson and Liam Hendricks would break my brain, but I mean, yeah, I'd rather a good bullpen guy than Michael Kopech.
Okay, fine. Gleyber Torres, Oswald Peraza, Austin Wells, a guy we've never heard of, for Tim Anderson and Liam Hendriks. I mean, we've made
Isn't Liam Hendriks on like a crazy deal? Either way. No, I would like this. This would be cool. I would like it.
I don't think he
hate
is.
Liam Hendriks.
And now that he's cancer free, round of applause. I think I love the story. Get him in the bullpen. He's a free agent in 2024. All right.
Oh,
team
perfect.
option. Yeah. And it's a team, Luke, it's a team option in 2024. We don't even have to pick it up.
We have the option.
That means we can make the decision, not him.
No, this would be fun. It's just one of those that feels like it's built on Madden, but I'm with it.
It's built on Madden, but if you remember, we've made a big trade with the White Sox before. The last time we got close to the World Series, really close to the World Series, really, really close. We got Frazier, we got D-Rob and Canely, and we traded away some prospects. The White Sox aren't afraid to trade with us. So I do think it's possible. It's probably, and it's going to be one of those trades that you look back and I'm watching old Monument Park videos, and I found myself saying Ketel Marte's name in every single video. This is Ketel Marte probably, but Tim Anderson and Liam Hendriks sounds pretty freaking good to me. All right.
I think we're getting Jock Peterson.
Jock Peterson. The Giants just got every single left-handed outfielder, and then they have Mitch Haniger too. The Giants aren't going anywhere this season. Jock Peterson and Michael Conforto are two guys that Conforto, in my opinion, locked to get traded at the deadline. Peterson,
we should have signed him to begin with.
Probably no. We could have signed Michael Conforto. We could have signed Andrew Benintendi. We could have signed my man Pots and Pans Masataka Yoshida. Why? Like they had it. Like even if we signed someone
that like I didn't personally like if we signed Yoshida and gave him a ton of money, I wouldn't have been like all right, it's kind of like I don't know. But still, they would have done something. They didn't do anything.
He got $17 million. Like, all right, Benintendi got $15 million. All right, like this isn't a ton of money. Instead, we dropped $150 million on head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Carlos Rodon, who I've got something wrong with everything. So
as long as he's healthy in August, don't care.
Yeah, then the arm's not going to be built up enough, and then it's going to be
I mean like back and healthy in August. August. Pitching.
I hope so. I
do too.
He's going to be my least favorite Yankee if he never pitches this season.
Well, yeah, I mean that would stink if we. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Jock Peterson, and they have Yaz. They have Lamont Wade, Yaz, Jock Peterson, and Michael Conforto. It's like, let's just get every lefty and just trade them all.
Because I've seen Jock do it in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I know, like, Conforto's got something to him.
Does Jock not strike out anymore? Why? Because,
they don't play him against lefties, right? Isn't that the thing?
Well, he's horrible against lefties.
Well,
who's already platoon? Darren Ruff?
No, we don't really. I mean, we have a ton of, righties.
Who's platooning with Jock Peterson? When was the last time the Yankees
you slide someone else to DH, you put Stanton in the outfield.
When was the last time the Yankees had a true platoon? I can't even come up with it.
No, it's not a platoon. He's coming and he's hitting.
No, I understand, but that was a separate question.
No, we don't do things like that. I don't think we do that.
Why not?
I don't know.
Doesn't seem like something we would do because it's too smart.
No, because it's too new. I mean, I don't know.
Too new?
Yeah, I feel like platoons don't it's not like a thing to just platoon the whole lineup.
Well, not the whole lineup, yeah, but
I'm talking what the Giants do.
Well, no, I'm just talking about individual, like an individual where we were just platooning. Like you can platoon Jose Molina and Jorge Posada, but that was because AJ Burnett wanted to shoot Jorge Posada.
Well,
that's different. I'm talking about
we don't do it. We more have a carousel where we have too many people. That's more our way. But it would be nice
so much depth.
But they all stink.
That's that was the joke. Michael Conforto, Michael Conforto, I don't know. He's not really playing
No,
well.
I like him.
But he's not a
Is he
strikeout
not?
guy. Cody Bellinger, oh my God. If the
This
Yankees
would be
traded for
fun.
well, no.
This
Because
would
if the
be
Yankees traded for
fun.
Cody Bellinger, he would get to the Bronx and wouldn't know how to hit anymore. I'm sorry, he wouldn't. He would forget.
No, probably not. Well, but
Probably not.
at least he's like hit in the playoffs before. That's
Has
the
he?
thing.
Because as
He's
I
hit
remember,
big home
Aaron
runs.
Judge broke the strikeout record in playoff history. And you know who broke it that same postseason?
Well, okay, so we're saying Aaron, like it's Aaron Judge. Like,
Well,
people
that was his
strike out.
rookie season. Granted, it was Cody
Happens.
Bellinger's rookie season.
It
What
happens.
has Cody Bellinger done in the postseason? Enlighten me.
Well, he's hit home runs. He's had big hits. Had to have. I mean, they won playoffs every year. He has experience.
Oh, he's got experience. I mean, you could say
No,
the
I
same
mean-
thing about Jock Peterson and Michael Conforto, who hasn't played in the postseason in quite some time. Here
I
we
mean,
go.
2021, he went 12 for 34 in the playoffs.
That's really good.
2020, he went 14 for 66. That isn't as good.
No, that's not.
No, well, he was playing with the bump shoulder because he broke it with the big home
Yeah,
run.
and like the 5th game of the World Series.
No, it was in the NLCS
Was it?
against the Braves. I'm
Oh,
like 80,
good call.
88% sure.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
yeah,
you're
so
right.
he's had one good postseason.
But-
Okay.
Okay,
That's
well,
better than most of our players.
the guy had a 30% strikeout rate, like back-to-back seasons, and all of a sudden it just snapped his fingers, and now it's 14%. I don't really feel too confident about Cody Bellinger coming to the
We
Yankees.
have to table him for at least until like June just to see.
Well, no, I think he's just going to end up on the Yankees because number one, his dad was on the Yankees, and number two, it just seems like a Yankee move because it's just it's a sucker
That's
bet.
what I
It's a
mean,
sucker
yeah.
bet. It's Joey Gallo. It's let's fall for it.
No,
and
but it's
regret.
different than Joey Gallo in ways.
Why?
Because he's played in big games, he's played in the playoffs, he's played in big markets, and he like didn't always suck. Like Joey Gallo's best year was 215 or whatever, or he had 250, right?
I mean, they're different, but dude,
Like if this wouldn't be that level of bad, I don't think it'd be great if I had to like.
but
gun to
it's one
head
of those
guess.
things that you can expect to be bad, and then it ends up being bad, and it's like that's who we went out and got. Like,
Well, that's our thing.
no, I
That's
know.
what we do.
So
like,
why do we keep doing it? Why don't we
No,
just like
because I don't know.
why don't we go trade for
Because,
Bryan Reynolds?
Dude, imagine it's like, see, I mean, he's making it. He took the Aaron Hicks contract.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, think any less of yourself. Really.
I mean, he's $100 man, $1 million man.
So is everybody now who's as good as he is.
He's set for life. He loves playing baseball.
He must love his 2-bedroom apartment in Pittsburgh because, like, really?
I don't know who wants to live there. No offense.
Actually, as a city, I do like Pittsburgh, to be fair.
How many times
But
you been there?
Twice.
Fair.
Enjoyed it. Didn't never went to a game though. They were on the road. I also think there's a chance Austin Wells comes up and DHs and maybe does a little Schwarber thing, like right when he first started. There's a lot of parallels. Failed catchers. Lefty
Gonna send
bats.
Garrett Cole to the moon.
What happened?
Send Garrett Cole to the moon.
He did hit a big home run off Garrett.
I don't think that ball's landed yet.
Like it, yeah. Well, that was pre-pitch clock, Garrett Cole. No, but that's the only like in-house guy I could actually see playing some level of an impact on the Yankees this year.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, yeah.
Because there's no more Volpe. Let's get Volpe up. There's no more Carl Peraza up. Dominguez isn't coming up. Spencer Jones is still too young, but he's, my God, so good. We have no pitching left.
2 triples last game. 2 triples. I mean, the guy's
yeah.
out there. He looks like Captain America. He looks like a Flash.
He's fun. But yeah, no, like there's no more call up this guy, but I think Austin Wells could be a very, very intriguing player for us this
Okay.
year.
Yeah. Okay. So you talked to me about how Jason Dominguez is expendable. Now, who do we trade him for?
I don't know. It's really early. Two, I don't know.
Get traded
I
to
mean,
anyone too good. It's got to be a bad team.
Well, it's got to be. It's just in the National
We're not
League.
sending Jason Dominguez to the Cardinals. I'll tell you that. Now, the
Yeah, we
Cardinals
could.
have Newt Barr.
I would do that. Who cares?
You're trading
Cardinals?
Jason for Newt
No,
Barr?
well, not for. But I'm saying like, I don't care. Like, I don't
Jordan
have a
Montgomery.
no.
Get him back.
Like, I don't. We can't. Like, if we trade him to a mid NL team for the right player, it doesn't really fit. Like,
Okay. Now,
Those are the
Dylan
Dodgers,
Carlson's an interesting guy because he's gotten off to a really slow start after like having an iffy season last year, and then it was pretty solid the year before. They've got this is like the Giants where they've just got a bunch of guys that could get traded. Tyler O'Neill, Lars Nootbaar, who did I just say?
Edmund,
Dylan Carlson. They've got guys. They're also playing really bad baseball, but it's the Cardinals. Cardinals are going to figure it out.
It's gonna be Jock Peters.
I'm
he's just
afraid
gonna.
it's going to be Cody Bellinger. I
would fall for it.
Him.
I would fall for it. I would fall for it. You have to. Could you imagine?
Why? Because he's a former MVP.
Because he used to be cool. Yes, exactly.
So Josh Donaldson. We're going to bat him fourth.
Well, but he's not 50 years old. That was the thing that I didn't really like fully grasp was actually how old the guy was. Bellinger's not. I didn't. I wanted to believe in something. I would fall for it just because it would be cool. Not because it's probably not going to work.
As long as Bellinger's not smoking in the clubhouse.
Well, he probably is. Maybe it makes him better.
Maybe the fact that he's not in Los Angeles.
Maybe he's another pitch clock guy.
Or shift.
Yeah. Okay. No, I mean, it doesn't.
I think getting out of Los Angeles was good for him because he's got a lot of suppliers around there. And I'm pretty sure in Chicago, it's a little, well, I don't know.
It's less about like that specifically and more just like you're the young stud, you win an MVP. you go to the club, you smoke a bunch of dope, and then now you're trash. And it's like, okay, you
at least he was good.
Get out of there. Yeah. No, but that's the thing is once he did all that, then it's like, okay, I'm the king of LA.
And I wonder what Christian Yelich is smoking. I think that wraps things up here. Yankees get a 4-game set on the road in Texas.
How many do you think we're gonna win?
It's the biggest split I've ever seen. It's a banana split. If they win 3 out of 4, I will be pleasantly surprised.
I think it's feasible.
Maybe. But we're going against Heaney, DeGrom, Eovaldi, Perez. They're getting two.
Do they have a bullpen?
Like kinda.
I don't know. I could see if it's 2-1 going into the rubber and we have Cortez versus Perez. Like I like our shot to win that game.
Yeah,
I could also see us punting it because we haven't had an off day like a month,
and we don't have an off day till May 4th.
So like, is that a week?
It's a week from today, I think.
All right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a week from today. And then, so probably the next episode, I'll be back home. Luke will probably be back in his room,
sitting right here in this spot.
That's probably going to happen. Like we said, more episodes to come, and many more to come after that, because the timing right now with everything is not really great for doing a consistent podcast, but we're here. We're going to try to get our podcast back on the radio station, even though it really wasn't there in the first place. And we will see. But thank you all for listening and watching. Click all the links in the description. Follow all the socials. We'll be a little more active on there too. And we will see you soon. Peace.